You are listening to Rip It Up, the Renovations podcast.
Hi, I'm Kate. I run the Instagram page Victorian Math Mine.
I'm Jenny. I run the Instagram account Workers Cottage.
This podcast is all about renovation and interiors from the renovator's perspective. We've been through it a few times between us and it hasn't scared us off.
In fact, we loved it. So if you are planning to do up your own home, you can expect to hear lots of advice from our own experience, along with plenty of tips and inspiration.
You spend over a third of your life in bed, so it is absolutely key that your sleep setup is good. So today, Kate and Jenny are going to take you through everything you need to know about picking your perfect bed, perfect mattress, and perfect sleep setup.
All right, welcome back to the podcast. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jen.
How are you?
I'm good. You're off on your travels, so this is a remote one.
I'm on my travels. Yeah, this is remote. I'm currently in South Korea, an absolute haven.
Really?
For interior design. Everything is so beautiful, very cool, Instagrammable. I know I sound like a really elder millennium when I say that, but yeah,
Everything's really
so
cool.
Everything's very cool. Is that the word the kids still use? Is it cool? But yeah, I'm currently in South Korea. Haven't spent the last 2 weeks in New Zealand visiting my family and friends, and it was also wonderful. My God, they do things to coffee in New Zealand that...
Oh, stop.
Why can't we do that in the rest of the world? I don't
know,
understand how it's so good.
I know. Brunch
Amazing.
and everything in general. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not what we're talking about today.
Anyway, you're away from your normal bed.
I'm away from my normal bed. I'm sleeping in a different bed.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about tonight.
Beds.
We're talking about beds. Why tonight? You're this morning. We're talking about beds. I was going through this recently with somebody who's choosing a bed, and there's just so much in it.
There is.
Mattress decisions, bed decisions, bed storage, lighting, everything. There's just a huge amount.
Yeah. I'm obsessed with beds. I actually used to sell mattresses in a big furniture shop in Limerick after college.
You are the expert.
I used to sell mattresses, everything from the Tempur memory foam to pocket sprung to everything. Yeah. So I'm obsessed with mattresses. And I really think it's something that's hugely worth investing in. And if you don't,
Couldn't agree
sorry,
more.
you're wrong. You spend so long in bed. Everything is better when you've good sleep. Everything.
And sleeping on a bad mattress is detrimental to your sleep. So it's vital. It's one of those things as well that I wouldn't scrimp on. Yeah. There's areas in my house when I'm decorating or buying stuff that I will happily scrimp on because I just don't really care that much about it. But a good mattress in particular, whatever about the bed frame, we can get into that later, but a good mattress is critical.
Absolutely. And I sleep, I'd say consistently. Almost every night I'd get at least 8 hours sleep, unless the kids have a really crappy night. I go to bed at 9:30. I'm asleep by 10.
Me too.
I don't get out of bed till 7:30 or 8 when the kids wake up.
I'm such a nana, but I do.
love
I mean,
it.
bedtime is 9:30. I'm no use to anyone really much later.
If I have bad sleep, I'm so less productive the next day. It's so worth it.
too.
It's worth the investment.
Okay, we could do an entire monologue on sleep, but people have written books on it and we know it's important. Okay, mattresses first, right? I actually went shopping for a new mattress because the very first one I got when I moved into my house, it was just too hard for me, and there was a memory foam topper on it attached. It's just not for me. I just don't like memory foam. So I switched around. So I did a big mattress shop last year, and you are a mattress expert, having successfully sold hundreds, if not thousands of them to college.
So tell me, memory foam, was it that, I'm not even going to say the brand, but was it that big brand that are plugged a lot?
It was a very big brand, yes.
Okay. And you still didn't like
Big
it?
Irish brand. I just don't like it. Now, people do it, but it's not for me.
Okay.
I find it too hot. I don't like being too hot in bed.
It's heavy,
and I found
isn't
it way too
feels
firm.
heavy.
Yeah, that feeling of sinking into it. I'm a side sleeper, so I don't know if that helps. Maybe people who sleep on their backs or something might find it a bit better. I really don't. I didn't like the feeling of it keeping my shape, which, look, the secrets or the clue is in the name. It's called memory foam. If I didn't want a material that was going to remember my shape, then I probably shouldn't have gotten memory foam in the first place. So that one's on me, but no, it's not for me.
Yeah, but memory foam, it's a love it or hate it thing. I remember when I used to sell mattresses, couples would be really divided on this. Like, mattresses can be quite personal. So I remember a couple came in and they had spent €2,000 on this king size memory foam, one of the big brands, and she hated it. The husband loved it, did not want to get rid of it, and they actually came back in. She was like, I can't sleep in it, it's too hot. I feel like I'm stuck in it. It's hard to move if you want to move. So like you said, if you're moving it, if you're not moving, you're in one spot and you sink into that spot and you're there for the night, you get so hot. like just that area
way
gets so
too
hot.
hot.
It's like the way some people like to flip their pillow. If you're a pillow flipper, you probably won't like the heat of a mattress like that. So they end up going back like to a really basic coil sprung, firm, orthopedic, like 500 quid mattress or something from a 2 grand.
Now you're talking. Because
Yeah.
coil sprung, for me, is very much where it's at. Pocket sprung.
Pocket sprung, but coil
Are they
sprung
different?
now, they're
Are they
different.
different?
Coil
Sorry.
sprung is like
Okay.
one continuous coil over the area of the mattress, right? So
Oh,
if someone
okay.
sits on the edge, can slightly collapse, if that makes sense, because it's all one big coil. And then pocket sprung are all individualized kind of pocketed springs. And then the higher the number of pocket springs,
Firmer.
the firmer, because you've more individual smaller springs, and smaller springs are firmer to push loads of them rather than less big springs, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So once you get up over the
And-
kind of 2,000 pocket springs, you're going more firm but more stiff.
I have 1400, just for
Yeah.
reference, if anyone out there also likes
That's
a
for a
relatively...
king bed.
Yeah, for a king bed, a slightly softer mattress. Not soft, like it's firm enough,
Yeah.
but slightly softer mattress. I still have... There is a layer of gel on the top of it. It's not memory foam.
Yeah.
It is a gel that regulates temperature. And I love it. I love it so much. It really just wicks the heat away from you. And as a pillow flipper, I love it. It's for me.
Yeah, you're a cool sleeper. You like being like
Cool
not
bed,
getting, yeah. Another thing then, if you like pocket springs, but you want a bit of plushness, that kind of hotel feeling, some people get a pocket spring with a pillow top on the top. That pillow top gives you a real kind of sumptuous, almost like a duvet over your mattress feel, and that can be real soft but still supportive. And then that pillow top or box top, some of them are like a deeper box top, can be filled with, like you said, gel. Can be
Yeah.
memory foam in that as well. If you just want a topper but you still want the springs underneath, you can get loads of different things, like there's chenille ones and all these other mad kind of ones for, like you said, regulating body temperature, but also to give you that kind of coziness or something as well.
And there is something very cozy about that little top layer. It's so nice. Like
Yeah.
it just feels a bit luxurious, doesn't it, even to look
What
at?
do you have now? So you pocket spring, just straight pocket
So-
spring, no pillow top or anything.
No, I do have a topper. So it's 1400 pocket sprung king size, which for me feels perfect for somebody who likes things not very soft, but
Yeah.
on the softer side of firm. And then there is a small little topper on it that's filled with that gel that regulates the temperature.
And is that topper separate? I know
It
there is
looks
stitched
like it's
to the
attached to
bed,
it, but yeah.
yeah, it is an actual pillow top, whereas some of them are just layered over the springs, if that makes sense. So it's not actually a
Yeah.
pillow top or a box top. But yeah,
a
I have
pillow.
something similar. I don't have the actual pillow top, but I recently changed and I was like one brand till I die up until recently. And it is pocket spring and I'm still pocket spring, but mine does have a kind of a memory foam topper on it. It's just
And
enough.
tell me more about the memory foam. Why?
It just gave me that little
That's
bit
very
of plushness.
judgmental, my question here.
So
What do
I
you like
actually
about it?
originally bought this mattress brand on special for our guest room and didn't spend a huge amount of money on it. No, it is a good mattress, but it wasn't mad money because once it was on special, I was like, it's for this guest room, it's fine. And when I had my first baby, I used to do a bit of a night away where Cian would mind the baby and I'd get a full night's sleep and I'd go off into that room. And then I fell in love with that mattress. I loved it. I loved it more than our main bedroom mattress. I don't know why, it was just the supportiveness, but it just gave that little bit of kind of squishiness on the top. And I actually liked that combination. The pocket springs underneath combined with that still gave that breathability. Now I'm with you,
Yeah.
I totally hate full memory foam. I slept on the good ones, I just don't like them. But this still gives you that springiness of a sprung mattress, but the tiny bit of memory foam. So I really liked it. And then when it came time to change my mattress for our main room, I got the same one for in there.
And can you reveal?
Yeah, I can say the brand. It's a brand called MLILY. Yeah, I think they're like a sponsor of Manchester United or something random. I remember when I was searching it, Manchester United jerseys came up anyway. But it's amazing. I love it. I bought it in Des Kelly originally, and then I
Okay.
went back when I
Yeah.
wanted the one for our main bedroom. Yeah, I love it. I really love it.
The bank.
It doesn't what?
Amazing. Doesn't break the bank.
No, it doesn't. It's still good. And again, the amount of springs on the base vary as well. So the more you go up in spring count, the firmer it gets, but also the more expensive it gets. So you can get ones
Yeah.
starting from your 1,000 or 1,200, and then there's a 2,000 one, then there's a 3,000 one. So the one in our guest room, I think, is 2,000, I think. And I think our...
That's firm. That's quite firm.
It is firm, yeah, but I think our one is maybe, I don't know, is it the same or is it 2,500 in the super king size? I don't know. I don't find it firm. I think just because the mattress topper, that memory foam topper, now it weighs a ton. So I have movers coming here next week, and one of our friends offered, oh, I have a big pickup truck or whatever, if you want to help move. I was like, I'm never moving mattresses again in my life. I've done it once or twice. Like they weigh so much nowadays. Like I'm just not touching it. I'm going to injure myself.
And they're so
Someone's gonna get
unwieldy.
injured.
There's nowhere to. I know they have handles and everything, but like, they're too big.
Big things. They're big sheets of jelly, so you don't know what way they're going to go. So yeah, that's mattresses. I suppose you can go your coil sprung, most basic, pocket spring with pillow top or not, or topper of memory foam or whatever, and then all the way up to your full memory foam, which for me just isn't it?
It's too much memory foam.
But I also know other people that love it. Can I just say one thing? It's slightly onto the next topic a little bit, but pillows, part of the mattress setup. I do have a memory foam pillow, a Tempur one, and they're the brand that do like real expensive memory foam mattresses. While I don't like their mattresses, I love the pillow. And I actually find when I go anywhere else now, I find it hard to sleep on another pillow because they're not at all as supportive. So the memory foam really sits in the kind of like nape in the side of your neck. And I'm a side sleeper most of the time, but I just find it really supportive.
Yeah. I usually like a very flat pillow, actually. I don't like too much bulk in it. Even though I am also a side sleeper, but I don't like too much bulk in my pillow at all.
Do you know what I hate? I don't understand feather pillows.
I love them.
They just go dead. I have a sore ear after about 10 minutes. I don't know. I feel like it's such
My
a
grandmother
dead weight
had
or something.
always had feather pillows, and I love sleeping on them. I
hate them when they're in hotels and everything. I feel like I'm fluffing them the whole time, and then my ear gets sore. And if I'm wearing my earrings in bed, I feel my earrings with feather pillows. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not for me. Not for me.
Do you like those pillows that have the shape that kind of goes into your neck?
Well, Tempur, the memory foam one, they actually do those as well, but mine is just a standard kind of rectangular shaped pillow. It's not the shaped one. I don't know if I'd be the kind of sleeper now for the shaped one. Like you would want to not move at all, I think.
You'd want to not move at all, that's exactly it. Because I do flip a little bit from my side to my back, and I find if I lie on my back at all, then I have a terrible night's sleep. But on my side, it's okay. I just feel like I'm choking a little bit as well. I don't even know if that's just psychological, but it's just not for me.
Wouldn't be for me.
Yeah.
And what about duvet?
Duvet, I like a feather-filled duvet as well.
Do you? Yeah.
But with the pockets, obviously with the pockets, otherwise they just go all over the place. Stitched. But I love a feather down duvet, and I have two. So I have a 3-tog one for summertime, which is very cold, obviously, but I really like sleeping in.
I like a real low one.
I have a 10-tog one then for lunchtime.
I don't know up to 40. I don't know how people go for those. I feel like I'd be sweating any time of the year. Maybe if you sleep outside or you don't have central heating, but other than that, it's too hot.
What is really clever, the two that I have, there's a 3 and a 10, and they have buttons at the corners, so you can clip them together.
Yeah.
Put them into the duvet, and then you can have a 13-tog, really. So you have 3 duvets in 2, which is really handy.
That is really cool. But I'm what would you call it? Artificial filling on duvets as well.
Yeah, I'm fine with the artificial filling on duvet. I like it. But I overall I want it to be quite light. I don't like anything too heavy on me. Maybe it's the heat. What I do like though is a bit of layering. So I like a duvet. I also love having a blanket, but only from the waist down. I don't like anything over
top. Keep the duvet from falling off a bit.
So what it is, just a little bit of weight on my legs or something. A little blanket or two. It looks really pretty anyway. Like it looks lovely, but sleeping setup.
What about duvet covers? Are you like a cotton only kind of gal?
No, I like linen in summertime, and I like cotton year round. I love cotton, actually. Cotton's probably my favourite. And the set that I have that I always go back to that I love the most is Foxford.
It's
a Foxford cotton set, percale weave. I love it.
Yeah, I used to be all about like high thread count, and then more recently in recent years I've gone away from that a little bit. They're still decent, but I have Amarel all the time on my bed, the Irish brand.
The linen or the cotton?
I have both actually, but I love linen in the summertime, but then maybe the cotton in the colder months.
Thread count is worth talking about, because there's a bit of a red herring with thread count, isn't there? It's not necessarily
you can fake it.
The higher the thread count, the better it is. You can fake it. Yeah. They have a way of doing it. It used to be that the higher the thread count, the better it was, because it was denser and the weave was denser and everything was softer and just lovelier and nicer and higher quality, and it would last a lot longer after more washes. But basically they found a way of effectively faking high thread count, and that's just not true anymore. And sometimes it could mean you might have high thread count, but it could be really low quality materials, or actually the weave of the thread could be not so well done. And so it's just not a reliable marker to look at
And
anymore.
am I right in thinking like the actual thread thickness can vary
Yeah.
so much that, it's not all it's cracked up to be anymore, unless you're
If you
really
have
paying
like
for it.
pure Egyptian cotton or something like that, then typically the thread is actually it's really long, really robust and quite slender. And so a high thread count of a thread of that nature is a really positive thing. But actually then what they do now, or what some places do now, is they just mash a bunch of threads together or artificially make them a bit thinner and then weave more together, but they're not great quality and in the first place. And so having more of them doesn't make a really good material overall.
Yeah. Okay, so that's bed, sleeping materials, bedspreads, cushions, or
Yeah.
pillows. What
Sorry, but
about-
you do have the linen as use the cotton and the linen.
Yeah.
I have the Amarella linen one as well, and I do love it. I find it hard to wash sometimes. It just goes a bit stiff, and then I don't know if
Definitely
I'm washing it
does.
wrong.
I usually like air dry mine, but then give them a light go in the tumble dryer at the end, and it just softens
That's
out.
what I
kinda
do
like
for
wells.
20 minutes.
Yeah, and then just fold them when they're warm, and then I don't.
And I find those dryer balls you can buy. You can
Yeah.
just use tennis balls actually, but I got these wool ones. That really helps. It just bashes a bit of softness into them.
Yeah.
Because I don't use fabric softener on them, so I think they do a lot of good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all the preferred materials, preferred mattresses. The bed itself, how important is that to you?
Bed itself, I
Frame,
think
the bed frame.
the slats and the base is important for the mattress support, especially now mattresses are so bloody heavy. If you've really crappy slats that are bending all the time, they'll be creaky and they just won't support a big heavy mattress, especially if there's two people in the bed. So I would say it's important to have decent slats, or if you have a divan, like a decent sprung divan base or a decent base. But
What do you think about just a solid divan base?
it depends on your room, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I'd pick it in certain rooms, and I think they can look really cool now with a linen box valance and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
not-
Again, it's a hotel look. If you have the
it
right
is, for
material on
sure.
it.
I'm not massively gone on the ones that are pre-finished in fabric a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I
know
think
what
the
you mean.
fabrics can be a little bit naff unless they're really custom ones or something like that. So I tend to prefer, if I was going with the divan, like a box valance over it, like a nice box valance over it or something. But then I suppose whether I'd go for a bed frame or a divan, it depends on your room and like the size of your room and whether your room can take it. What do you have?
So things to think about. I have an ottoman, which really looks like a divan.
Okay.
The reason I have an ottoman is because it's a storage ottoman. And I think if you're living in a small house or you're stuck for storage, you just have to get a storage bed because, my God, the amount of stuff I have under that thing. It's like having a garage. I swear to God. Like, I have so much stuff under there.
Garden
It
shed
fits
under
so
your bed,
much
I think
stuff.
we
It's
called
like
it
a
before,
garden
didn't we?
shed. It's unbelievable. I swear to God. There's so much in there. There's no reason not to. And I feel quite strongly about getting one that lifts up instead of getting one that has drawers underneath it, because you can't fit nearly as much in the drawers and it's really hard to access them.
And if anything
you
gets
are
caught in the
shopping,
drawers as well, sometimes they can be a pain. You know, if anything lifts up
Totally.
higher than the drawer and then they're jammed and you're trying to stick your hand and getting stuff out. No. Like the drawers
Totally.
never work that well.
and lifting it up is a little bit heavy, but the hinges they're like these hydraulic hinges that have their support the lift. I don't know exactly how it works, to be perfectly honest with you, but there's some kind of a gas in them that helps to support it. You don't have to lift the full weight of a mattress up like it's a supported lift. You can get two types. You get one that lifts up from the end of the bed, or you can get one that lifts up along the side of the bed. If you're, depending on where your bed is in the room, it might be easier for you to access it from the side, or it might be easier for you to access it from the end when you're shopping around. Just
keep that in
think
mind.
like where it's going to go in your bedroom. Yeah, exactly. But
They are
for small
genius.
homeowners, you just have to. There's no, it's such waste.
That's a lot of dead space otherwise. And you can get all these boxes and whatever, but they never fit, like you said, a quarter as much as you could fit under there. And that big,
like it is.
that one big uninterrupted kind of area or space lets you store long things or whatever. I think you said you cross-country skis in there or something at one point.
I've got touring skis in there, I've got downhill skis in there, I've got a blow-up paddleboard in there, I have a tent under there, and that is a small fraction of the amount of storage. It's unreal. I can't believe how much fits under there.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All my Christmas decorations are under there.
I've always, at least in recent years, I've always had bed frames, just because I suppose maybe the style of the room or whatever. My last house, I had a 4-poster.
I do prefer the look of a solid wood bed frame,
Yeah.
or even a very sleek kind of brushed metal bed frame.
So I got
But
my last.
it is
Remember
what
my
it is.
last house? I had the 4-poster. No, I had to get rid of that when we moved because I just didn't have
loved
the
it.
ceiling height in this new house. So I got rid of that, but I loved that bed. I saw
It was
it on, I
beautiful.
think, like a Soho House hotel. They had something similar style. So I scoured the internet and found a place called Get Laid Beds. So if you're into wood frame beds,
Good name.
yeah, they're great. They're good quality. You can customize everything. You can customize the stain color, the size of the frames, the legs, the side tables. You can attach side tables if you want, all that. There's so much customizable. They have loads of different frames. So I got it from there. If you're going for wood bed frames, I would say go decent quality, because if you don't, they're so creaky. Just for an example,
Yeah.
I got a toddler bed for my eldest Matthew, and it's an IKEA one, right? It was cheap. I didn't know what the situation was when we were going to be moving back in here, whether we'd do built-in joinery and stuff
And they
like
grow
that.
out of them too. So it's not
Yeah,
like it's
but I
innocent.
figured by the time we moved back in here after the renovations, he might have a built-in bunk or something like that. But anyway, it's new, like he's only had a few, but it's still creaky and he's not heavy. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes cheap wood bed frames can be creaky.
Yeah.
So make sure that the fittings are good and stuff like that, and you're not just screwing into wood. You know that there's metal fixings that hit metal fixings and stuff like that. So I would always err on the side of caution if you're going for a wood bed frame. And then more recently, my current bed is a steel bed. Not like
Yeah,
a
and I
wrought iron
love
kind
it.
of bed. It's a Danish company called Moebe. Very minimalist. Our room is quite small at the moment, and I just didn't have space for kind of a big bed frame and a big high headboard. So I have just a headboard on the wall, which I'll talk about in a minute. But like the bed frame is thick steel, essentially powder coated steel.
Lovely.
And it's two little half moon shaped kind of cantilevered bedside tables, because I didn't really have the space for lockers either. And I honestly think lockers you just fill with shit when you have them. I just don't think
I
anyone
feel
needs
it
bedside
almost
lockers.
as strongly about bedside lockers as I do about bathroom vanities. I think they are an absolute racket.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find nice ones. They're too big. What are you putting in there? Like, you just... no.
Rubbish. Like
don't
all
like
you
them.
need is like your water, a book, and maybe charging your phone or something. Like other than that, you're just
Exactly.
collecting crap beside your bed. So I love
Yeah.
just the little side tables, and and then everything else. I think when we move back in here after renovations, we'd probably build into a headboard. I think.
Yeah. I love those headboards, the kind of ones that extend wider than the bed, maybe curve around
Yeah.
a small little bit, and then have a shelf built into them.
Yes,
I think
they
that's
have
really
everything housed into
cozy
it.
and
Yeah.
elegant looking. Yeah, so nice.
Very
Yeah,
hotel,
they have
and
lamps in
everything
them.
everything there accessible to your table.
Yeah.
Maybe a reading light or something like that. Like everything right
plug,
there is just so
socket.
nice. Yeah.
I love that too. Yeah. Failing that, I like wall lamps. I don't love bedside lamps, like sitting on the
No.
shelf. I feel like they take
Unless
up
you've
too
a
much space. I just like a
huge
really
room.
neat little lamp.
If you've a huge
Yeah.
room, a big grand bedside lockers and that kind of style, but any normal size bedrooms, I think lamps are just messy.
There's
and take up
something
too much
about the
space.
trailing wire of it as well that just pisses me off. And then you're
Yeah.
always fiddling around for the switch, which is so annoying.
Yeah.
So I love it, but yeah, I just have a built-in wall light with a wall switch.
It's something to consider
on.
when
It's
you're
very
doing your kind of
diffuse.
electrical plan, isn't it?
Yes, big time. Yeah, because you need
Just
to know
think
where's your
about
bed going,
wiring,
what
yeah.
size bed do you have.
Because
Big
you'll
time.
probably be putting sockets there anyway. There's going to be power to it,
Yeah.
so consider maybe wiring for bedside lamps as well. I currently have one of the rechargeable LEDs there.
Oh,
It's
that's a
actually
good
an
idea.
outdoor one.
So there's
It's
no
the
wire then.
Villeroy Bach ones, and the charge lasts ages, and you can dim it, and I can actually read with it. It's decent enough, and I just have the charger somewhere else, so I charge it whatever once a week or once every
Great
2 weeks
idea.
or whenever it dies. But it's great, to have no cables and stuff.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really
Yeah.
good idea. One thing back to mattresses. This is not
Yeah.
about bedside lockers, but if you are sleeping with a partner and you have different sleeping styles, you can get like separate kind of mattresses.
I saw
Can't
those,
you?
yeah.
And actually, so one additional benefit that we didn't cover of the pocket sprung is that you don't necessarily feel somebody moving around on the other side of the bed. It's a very contained movement. Like if someone sits on the side of the bed, it doesn't drag the whole thing down.
Yeah.
So that's really good. But if somebody likes things warm or somebody likes things cooler, like you can get separate mattresses that have separate levels of firmness on them.
I
And
always
there's
wonder
one-
what's the join like in those.
I don't know.
Is there? I don't know. Is there a join? That's what I'm wondering. Is it like the kind of hotel mattresses in the US where you have your sleep button on it? Do you ever stay in those hotels in the States?
No.
It's one of the big chains of hotels in the States. I've definitely stayed there for work before, and it's like your sleep number. It's branded as your sleep number, and you
Yeah.
can adjust the firmness or something. You can
That's
do
a
it on
really,
both
really
sides
good
of the
idea.
bed. Yeah.
There's also this thing, I haven't seen it for sale in Ireland, but I know friends of mine in the States who have it, and it's called an Uller. And it's
Okay.
basically this fancy, it's like a very fancy hot blanket or electric blanket, but it's filled with this kind of gel and it can go hot or cold. And you can get different
Interesting.
ones for either side of the bed. So in summertime, you could have your cool, and then you can decide what level of cool you want, and then you decide what level of hot you want.
How bad?
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, what does it? Yeah. It feels like this. It's just something else that can break in my house.
True. I
do
think
know.
our climate probably doesn't really necessitate that level of like bedtime cooling, but I love the idea of it.
So that
And I did sleep on it when I was there, and it's so nice.
That mattress, I was just looking it up there. It is actually called the sleep number beds.
Oh.
So it's adjustable.
So can you
beds
do a
and
different
stuff.
number on either side of the bed?
Yeah, I remember
Oh, that's
from when I was. I
brilliant.
can't remember what it's American though. I haven't seen them over here. What I'm trying to think of what it was. One of the big chains anyway, Courtyard Marriott or one of the Marriotts or something like that had them. But I don't know if they're available here yet. But yeah, that's
Maybe
my
sometime
kind of
soon.
2 cents on mattresses. Invest. It's worth it.
Invest big time in the mattress. Think about whether you need storage in the bed, and don't get anything that's too creaky or that's gonna break.
Yeah. I suppose err on the side of caution when going for your timber beds. We did have an issue with our metal bed, I should say. When we got it first, it gets really heavy duty on the steel, but where the wood slats met the metal frame, it was squeaking or creaking because the wood slats would flex, it was rubbing on the metal. So I contacted the company, and in fairness to them, they were back like within the day, and they said, this is actually a flaw in the bed. We've fixed it so far, but we're going to send you out the parts. So they were just rubbery kind of slat caps. So they sent them out straight away, and they were like, just put these on the ends of your slats and they'll be fine. So they rectified it, but I did have an issue with it, yeah.
Okay, so if you're listening and you do have an issue with the squeaky
Creaky
end,
slats.
like the slats being squeaky or creaky, maybe you can just Google, because they're probably a fairly standard width. You could buy to Google.
Pretty much.
Rubber.
You can buy the slat caps on Amazon and stuff like that as well. Because I had looked at it when it was squeaking, because I wasn't sure if the company would actually come back about it. But they did, in fairness to them, they came back within 24 or 48 hours with a fix.
Who
So
knows?
it was
You might
decent
have saved
customer
somebody
service.
a great night's sleep. Yeah, fair play to them, Moebe.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. So they're the beds I've had. I do have a bed frame in my guest room as well, and it's from Made.com years ago. Now I know Made.com.
My bed is from Made.com.
They're gone, but now they're bought over by Next, I think, are they? So I
Next,
think you
yeah.
can get
So they're still
Made beds, but I've always found Made.com beds decent quality, and I'd buy it again.
Yeah, mine is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and the fittings are good, never creaks. The slats that came with it were decent, and we've had that bed.
Fabric has perfectly held up.
Yeah.
There's no fraying
Fabrics are
or
actually
fading
lovely.
or anything like that.
The fabrics seem really
delighted with it.
good quality, and the wood legs, ours is kind of walnut wood legs, and it's a navy blue tweedy fabric, I suppose. But the legs they look solid wood, and they look like a nice finish. They don't look like fake laminate wood or cheap.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I definitely buy Made.com beds again.
Yeah, they're like overall of the brand, I find them a little bit hit or miss, but mostly hit. And the bed was definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I think
That's it about
on
beds.
beds.
We obviously
nothing
have quite strong feelings about it because there's a lot to talk about, but I'm like, no, I know what I like, and that's it.
Yeah, if you disagree with us on the memory foam, let us know. I know someone who disagrees with me, which is my brother, because he's got a Tempur bed, and they absolutely, him and his wife swear by it. They love it.
My cousins,
So-
Connor and Krista, Connor and his wife Krista, they absolutely rave about it. They have the mattress and they love it, and they absolutely rave about
Really?
it. So does my aunt and uncle. They love their mattress. For me, I find that too hot. I just don't feel comfortable, but there are people out there who...
Was
for
your
whom
old one,
it
Emma?
is
Can you disclose?
perfect. No, it wasn't.
Oh, what?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, because I did actually run a poll before, because I'm not a memory foam person, but then I got kind of 50-50 results on it from people on my Instagram. It is very hit or miss. It's very personal choice.
You just have to try it. If you know somebody with an Emma mattress,
know,
ask
but
them.
how-
Can you swap
Yeah,
houses
you
for a
can
night?
do-
Sleep in their bed?
You can apparently do is it 60 or 90 days?
Oh, can you? Okay.
Yeah, maybe try one from a company that at least do that return first, rather than going for one that you can't. Because you can go into a bed shop and lie down the mattress, but it's not the same as what you're
There
sleeping.
is
You're in the
no,
middle of the
I'm
day.
sorry, like there's
No
no way
point.
telling. You just can't know.
No.
It. Another one, if you're in a hotel and you've had the best night's sleep of your life, then just ask the hotel, number one, where do they get their mattresses from? And number two, do they ever sell them on? You might not want to sleep in a used hotel mattress.
Yeah, sometimes they do kind of auctions, don't they? From hotels.
Yeah, they do
and
auctions.
stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, their mattresses are always really good.
Yeah, and usually they'll give you the supplier so you can just buy yourself.
Yeah. So, anything else?
That's it for me. Back to my holidays now.
Enjoy the rest of your
Yeah.
holidays, and we'll see you
Bye.
again soon, guys. Bye.
You too.
If you found that episode useful, please do us a huge favour by giving us a like and a few stars, and especially click that subscribe button. Thank you.